Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kim Barrett Show. I'm your host, Kim Barrett, and on today's episode, we are joined by Mr. James Marshall from the Inventors NFT Project. That's right, NFTs, cryptos, all that fun stuff. Today, that's what we're jamming on. So if you've been hearing about it, thinking about it, wondering about it, this is the episode you will not want to miss. Make sure that you jump in and get this into your ears. And of course, if we can help you with your marketing or you want to chat NFTs or anything, head over to our free group, www.joinmygroup.com.au, where we have everything you need and more. But until then, let's jump into the show. James, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you making the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. Now, I always like to start the podcast off same way every time, which is, James, if I met you at a party and we were having a beer and we were just chatting away and I said to you, what is it that you actually do? What's your go-to answer?
I identify the best abilities in people and I find ways of putting them together and I weave magic behind the scenes.
Break that down for me. Tell me more about that. But first of all, let me obviously, for anyone that's listening, in case you weren't aware from the amazing introduction I've already done of James, is that we are both working together on a huge project, or a couple of projects really. Why work on one project when you can work on several at the same time? Which is in the Inventors NFT and also TechTree. So I'm just putting that out there in case anyone missed it in the intro. But tell me a little bit, break down how do you do that, and specifically also in these sorts of projects, how do you kind of weave that magic?
I think the thing that I've learned over like 5 or 6 years is that I've got a very fluid personality. So parts of me are fixed, but it means that I'm able to relate with people across many different levels. So I can get into a conversation with them. I can quickly mirror them. I can work out what they're about. Not from a perspective of that's my goal, but it's just something that I've learned to do over the years. So, it's like a thing that I've learned over the years to get very sensitive to what people are about and to kind of, it could be anyone. It could be someone in the NFT space that is like an OG in the NFT space. And I come into that and I'm someone that's only been doing that for 2 to 3 months, but I find ways to just kind of meet them. It's like a way of empathizing or understanding dynamics between people. And this is something that I've just learned to do over, I think, probably 5 or 6 years, just learning how to mirror people, learn from them, and then kind of speak their language. And I found that when I could speak their language, and I think more importantly, feel where they're coming from, I could start to create magic from that place. So that's what I mean by it.
100%. And we've kind of seen that play out with not only Inventors NFT, but TechTree as well, where with Inventors, we were looking for really some good communities to come and support us because, we're noobs in the NFT space. We haven't launched 10 projects together. We haven't gone out there and done all this sort of stuff and been around for years and years. Like, we've got some members in that team that have been around some time, but we are kind of, for lack of a better term, new kids on the block. And you've really managed to delve deep into a few different communities and tap into people like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Kaiju Kings, Cyberkongs, and places where people, if you're in NFTs, you might be like, well, they're quite big communities. And you were able to kind of navigate through those waters up into the point where we were pushing for a big mint. So from your perspective as well, before I ask you some other questions, you see Inventors NFT in the space of NFTs in crypto, and like, who's it for?
I think Inventors NFT is quite a different project because I think it's hitting two markets. I think we have the ability to hit people that are OG in NFTs, people that are mature, because what we've seen in NFTs, I think to date, is there's been a disparity between the actual mature projects and then the hype projects. I would say we're not a hype project, we're a mature project. And I think for people in the space that are looking to be in a project that goes for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, I think we tick that box for them. Someone came into the server 2 weeks ago and they were saying, like, your project's a bit of an IQ test. And I think that speaks to that element of maturity. So we're going for those people within the NFT community that can see long-term vision and they've been around. And this is why it's not surprising that we've had members of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, quite mature OG members there that can see what we're doing and can see that it's a really sensible investment. I think the other advantage with what we're doing is the other market, which is people that have no idea about NFTs, but they hear about it. And the reason why is because we have this education element as the backbone. And it's just an awesome way for us to bring in people that are outside of that typical market. We're actually a bridge. And I think that's a really cool advantage that we have, is that we don't really depend upon the existing NFT market. And if we were to depend upon it, we'd be very limited. We can go well and beyond. Like, you know, as well as I know, Kim, we don't really care about the floor necessarily, the floor price, for people that don't know what I'm speaking about there. But we see a bigger vision of how do we be the bridge between worlds. And I think that's what's really exciting about the Inventors NFT.
Big time. And that's the big thing that I like about it, and why I haven't been, some people, when you look at a project, like they expect it to sell out in minutes, in seconds, which is what you get on a lot of these hypey projects. And we've seen, even in the period when we've been waiting to launch a couple of projects, one where they assumed that they actually all got ripped off to the tune of, I think it was 50 or 60 million. And then another one recently as well, where they released all of their art and everyone had all these grand visions of what their art was going to look like. And they raised $70 million again in about 10 minutes. And then when it all got revealed, it was terrible. Yeah. It was like absolutely terrible, and for lack of better terms, a crap show. And for us, we look at that and go, well, like, I'm kind of glad, because obviously, number one, for them to do that, they had to bring in a whole heap of hype. But then as soon as something good or bad happens, again, there's a whole heap of negativity. Whereas for us, our biggest focus that we want to build on is the educational piece. And you can't educate people in NFTs in a launch like that. They might hear about it, they might see it, their favorite person on Twitter might tweet about it. But what will happen in that is that's where you have the highest likelihood of getting scammed, of something, not necessarily from the project themselves, but something that has big attention like that means you're going to be getting fake DMs all over the place, being like, oh, we're releasing early mint and you've been chosen. Just click here and connect your wallet. And that's how people lose a ton of money. So for us, the slower that we move means that we can help people that have never bought crypto before, have never bought an NFT before, and aren't at risk of getting 1,000 fake messages. And then they can ask the people that have created the project, because we don't have 60 bajillion people just like putting stupid stuff in comments on Discord. We have a core group of people who are there to answer the questions, who are there to help people, which I think is definitely our biggest strength from that perspective as well.
Yeah, and I think the way that we've launched it as well takes it out of the emotional polarity that people see, like you're referring to that project that raised 70 million or whatever, and then they did the reveal and the art was terrible and everyone was very upset. Well, yeah, of course, there's just such a radical emotional swing in that, and it just kills the project. And I think it's something that you said, Kim, about like actually going slow ends up meaning we go fast ultimately, because we build that momentum that starts to grow in itself. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've had to clear a lot of that stuff out of my perceptions and my beliefs, because when you go into a space like the NFT space, you see what's going on there and you think, I mean, I thought that, and I was subject to those beliefs of thinking that we would have to model that significantly in order to succeed. And I think something that is unique about our team is that it does have business acumen behind it. And that means that we can actually be quite different. And so once I got that perspective in place, which is strengthened over time as I get rid of the other stuff, I don't feel anxious and I don't feel stressed. I see actually the maturity of what we're doing, and it just makes me more confident. So, yeah.
And because the way that we are looking at it is like a business. And I think I was saying to one of the guys the other day, I was like, imagine that you did have a business that launched, and on the first day that you opened, let's say that you were selling, you were selling tonic, right? You were selling this sort of stuff, and you sold out every single product. You had 70,000 units, and you sold them on the very first day. It's going to be chaos. The amount of support tickets you're going to have, the amount of people you have, and a lot of people. Well, I'm just going to have to restart my recording on the bottom as well. But a lot of people will kind of have problems with that, and I just think that that's really not the way that we want to focus on things. Like our core focus is to make sure that as many people as possible that want education, support, and growth can get that. And you can't get that if you're trying to rush through a hyped up process.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I feel really, really good about it. Yeah.
Fill me in a little bit as well on the education side from your perspective, and TechTree, because obviously that's one of the big major utilities that Inventors really has is the TechTree education, and share a little bit about what's going on that side also.
Well, that's had some big shifts in the last week after we kicked off the pre-sale and went into the public launch. I mean, TechTree has a really ambitious vision that I think is going to become really relevant as crypto, DeFi, NFTs, just investing generally in this new way is going to get more popular and more adopted. So, we got together as a team, you, Q, and Kevin and myself, we got together basically with that purpose in mind of what can we do to bring education into a space that really needs it. And that's part of it. It's just seeing that there's a gap in the market and we need to come in and do something about that. Also, there's a kind of a point of upset there because lots of people get really screwed up when they come into crypto and they don't have those positive experiences that would make a big difference. And so I think a big thing that we wanted to do behind TechTree, but also behind Inventors, was how do we change that tune and give people a positive experience? So that led first of all into TechTree. I think overall, we probably have about 30 people working on the team at the moment. I think obviously a large chunk of that is the content creators. TechTree has the vision of being a tiered education platform that people subscribe to. We have learn to earn mechanics that are being worked out for that. The vision is by the middle of this year, we will have TechTree up and running. But at the moment, through the Inventors Discord, we're already running some education. Kim's been doing some yielding stuff. We've done some TA stuff there as well. But yeah, it's just like seeing a big gap. Maybe it's a problem, a gap, and just going, well, can we do something about that? Because that's going to be needed. And something that I always talk about is the phases of adoption. And you think, well, yeah, I think we're getting to that point now where it's going to be really relevant for those people in the mainstream as they come into this. And I think crypto certainly and NFTs getting there anyway, they're starting to get some more, they're getting more adopted. So I think that's why TechTree is so important. And I think TechTree is like, if I just take a step back and go, whoa, this is massive, because it's a very, very legitimate vision to create education. And that alone should sell the Inventors project out over whatever time frame it needs to sell out over. But it's a massive vision. And I think it's just something that it needs. So we're just actually, if I think about it from a common sense perspective, we're doing something that's very basic and simple and actually just common sense. But it hasn't been done despite the fact that crypto's been around for 13 years or something. So yeah, it's that's TechTree.
Yeah. And I think it's the unsexy side, right? Because every project that we see, they always allude that they have education, and they really, not that they never deliver upon it, but we know how hard it is to deliver upon it, especially when a lot of projects and project leads might be from other countries, English as a second language, trying to produce content like that. And we've had quite a handful of projects that have either directly reached out to us or that we've connected with and really offered our services from the content perspective, because they just don't have it. And it's hard to do. It's not easy to create good content that is unbiased, because the big problem that I see for most people entering the space, and I've been having this conversation with larger and larger groups of people, is when people come in and you go to your favorite, go to any crypto YouTube channel, it's like they're all biased because most of the time they have some level of promotion paid to them to promote a certain token or a certain strategy that may or may not work. And we know, because when we were looking at the hyping way of promoting Inventors NFT, we have price lists from probably every single biggest influencer that's out there that you could see. And it's like, well, they are paid to promote it. Yes, obviously they must have some level of intrinsic belief in it, but that doesn't mean that for you as the person who's coming in at the very beginning, that's right for you. And none of them are going to teach you the unsexy parts of education where it's like, hey, here's how you do security. Never share your keys, write them down, put it in a safe, get a hard wallet, all these different bits and pieces that most people just don't pay attention to. So that's why I think it's unsexy, but definitely needed.
And I think too, on that, I think it's also why, I think it's a big advantage for the Inventors project, because we do get other communities that reach out to us and want to talk to us about that. It's something that they want to consider. So it's an interesting situation that we're in, because we're appealing to holders, and there's a lot that's appealing in the project to individual holders. But I also think we're equally, maybe even more appealing to the leadership of other teams. And it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing. And Yesterday, we had someone that dropped a support ticket in the Discord, and they're looking for exactly what we do. But that's really cool because it opens up all of these collaboration opportunities. And it means that it comes back to that essential point, which is that there is so much weight behind what we're doing. This is not a twig house. This is a massive tree that is deeply rooted in the ground or rooting itself into the ground. And that's why it's really cool to see other teams, other leadership from other teams reach out to us, because as we continue to develop all that content, this last week we've had massive developments there. We brought on 2 managers, and it's just showing how quickly we've scaled. It's been stressful at times, but we're growing and we're growing and we're growing to the point where we have more managers there. We also have more people coming in to create by the day. I saw two new creators pop into the Telegram chat today. So, I mean, I see that growing and I go, whoa, there's all this weight behind that. And it just makes me feel very confident about what we're doing.
100%. And I can only see it going better, being more needed, especially as, everyone always likes to choose on market sentiment and being like, oh, we're in a bull market, we're in a bear market, we're into this, we're into that. But for the project that we have and the size of it, really, it's irrelevant of market conditions, because either way, like, crypto is not going to go away. If you're only new to cryptocurrencies, it's already been around long enough now, 13 years. We know it's going to continue. We know that it will in some way, shape or form be there. It already has use cases. It's already been used in real life. So for me, the big one that I would encourage people to think at is not go like, well, is crypto going to be around? But think, same as like when social media came out, think about, cool, like, how can I use it, or how can I begin my education process in it and understand it a little bit more? You don't have to go and be crazy like the people you read in the articles who put their whole houses on Dogecoin or something like that. But like, go and investigate and see, because it's only going to become more and more pertinent, more and more relevant as the years go on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting.
Yeah, big time. And so, Jay, on the Inventors NFT project side of things, what can we sprinkle anything of things that are coming up in the future for people? So if they're listening to this episode will drop on about the 16th of March. What's around that time frame? What have we got coming? Can we give any sneak peeks of things that are coming in the project?
Yeah. So over the next few days, probably by the time that people are watching this, the reveal would have happened. So that's going to be really cool, because we have this utility called Money Tree, and that largely depends upon people knowing what inventor they have within the collection. So there's 3 inventors. There's Ada Lovelace, Nikola Tesla, and Leonardo da Vinci, and they all give a particular amount of entries into Money Tree. So I think by the time people listen to this on the 16th or whatever, we'll see some interesting things happening with Money Tree. We'll see people, I would say, a lot more secondary market activity. If our prediction goes to plan, we'll be seeing a lot more education roll out. So at the time of recording, we have a crypto trading academy going on that's being run by John. He's a bit of a TA wizard. I would also say that by the time people watch this, we'll have some more going on with yielding and farming. That's a bit of Kim's wheelhouse, and that's, if you get in there and you get like just a taste of that, you just, like, your perception expands massively. You get a different perspective. And Kim's already dropped some numbers on some people, and they've just gone, like, their minds explode, because it really shows you the potential of getting in on the DeFi stuff very early. So I think you'll see more of that start to happen. We will see in the future some more clarity on, and I'd say in the short term future, some more clarity on the learn to earn mechanics. In the reveal of the NFTs, in the art, you'll see in the top right-hand corner certain banners. Now, those banners will denote a function or a role that your NFT will assign you within TechTree, so for when that's released. So that's going to be kind of cool. And then from there, we can get into some more gamification. But yeah, just more content, much more content. I think the Money Tree thing is going to be super exciting. The more we grow, the more we see that come into fruition, and more marketing too. The thing about this project is that it's not just one hype build-up launch. This is a long-term endeavor, and it always has been that way. So Kim's got some awesome stuff up his sleeves around marketing it and moving it. And I just think that anyone listening to this, just to see that we're just beginning and we're on this massive journey and the marketing continues. So I think even that alone will get people excited. And I think too, there's going to be some exciting opportunity for you. If you haven't minted, you're going to get that opportunity. You're going to start to see us a lot more. You'll see us a lot more omnipresent, I would say. You'll see us in different places. And we'll be asking you to mint, to do your own research, but to mint and check out what we're doing.
100%. So yeah, if for some reason, if you're crazy enough to have seen us and not minted, rookies, I would highly recommend that you guys go over and check this out at the time of this recording, because there is a whole heap of new things coming. And it's sometimes I think now people kind of presume that if it's something in crypto, because they hear all these big numbers and people shouting out they're making all these lots of money, that's not the case. And so one of the trainings that we're doing is going to be, how can we set up something starting with a super, not even small, starting with a reasonable sized portfolio, $2,000. We'll be setting that up live with one of our moderators. He's volunteered as tribute for me to go and help him set up a portfolio from the beginning. And then we'll be tracking that in real time over the coming months and years to see what that can grow to. And I'm going to show everyone a breakdown of how you can pull out a real simple calculator to be able to figure out what that could grow to over time. And as long as you are patient, as long as you have presence and awareness to see the bigger picture of what's happening, it'll be hugely beneficial for you. But I do like to ask the same question as we get towards the end of our time here together, Jay, as well. What's the question that I didn't ask you today that I should have?
Why do I think that what we're doing is so important on not just for people that are interested in crypto and NFTs, but from a bigger perspective? That would be my question.
Fill us in.
I think so. Education, two values that I see behind what we're doing that I'm really passionate about: education and also empowerment. I think particularly in the financial area, a lot of people aren't empowered. And we see that there's a massive disparity on the planet with regard to that subject matter. So that's something that really, really fires me up. I have passion behind that. I feel moved to help and contribute there. And it's not about people ever getting free handouts. That's not something I believe in, but it's about equipping them with knowledge, skills, and support to become financially empowered and challenging them to do that. And doing that with what we could call cutting edge technology or cutting edge ways of doing that. So that's something that I feel really passionate about. I think the opportunities that crypto, DeFi, and NFTs present us in these times are incredible. I think they give people that didn't have opportunities, massive opportunities. And what we're doing with Inventors and TechTree is going to lead the way with that. So from a personal perspective, that's something that really, really, really gets me fired up. Yeah.
Amazing. And now for anyone that's listening, if they want to go and find out more, where should we send them? Where's the best starting point for people?
I think probably best if they just drop into the Discord. So we can include the Discord, discord.gg/inventorsNFT. They can also check us out on Twitter, and I'm typically posting stuff there, and they can get little nuggets there and learn a bit more about what we're doing there. So
awesome. And if you want to go straight across and just mint straight away, mint.inventorsNFT.io as well. If you're you're just like, yeah, cool. That's all I needed. All I needed was to see Jay's face, and I'm in. Easy, simple.
That's all. Yeah. This is all you need. You don't need anything else. This was what you bought, just this interview.
So guys, wherever you are, above or below in the show notes, just check it out. We'll have all the links. We'll have a link to the Discord, to Twitter, to the website, and minting as well, if you want to go check out what we've got going on there. And of course, if you know anyone that's been talking to you, as everyone would these days, the person at the gym, the lady at the butcher shop who's been talking to you about NFTs, about crypto, etc., please share this interview with them to show them that it's much more than just a hypey, crazy space of people saying that they're going to 10x and 100x their money. And let's actually dive into the depths of it, helping people understand how to use it, how to be better, and really helping people to set themselves up in this new world and new currencies that are out there. So James, good sir, appreciate you joining us today, and thank you so much, and chat to you soon.
Thanks, Kim.
Cheers.